friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we have another book haul. I think it's safe to say I have a problem at this point. These books right here, there are 18 of them, are the books I've most recently acquired in the past couple of weeks. There's just nothing better than the feeling of buying a book. There's nothing. And can I read all of these in the immediate future? No. Do I already have a shelf of unread books? Yes. But nonetheless, here we are, and that's okay because everyone loves a book haul. I love watching book hauls, and if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing you do too. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna just go through all of the books I found. Some of them are new, some of them are used. I got some of them from Second and Charles, which is a new and used bookstore that we have here in Georgia, but I think they have Second and Charles in other states as well. And then the other books came from Ollie's Bargain Outlet, which if you have not checked out Ollie's and you do have one in your area, I highly recommend. Most of their books are $3.99 to $5.99, and you can find some really great titles. We're about to get into it. I'm in my comfy clothes. I have my wine. We have lo-fi going in the background. We're just going to go through some of these reads and have a chill evening. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And with that, we'll just get right into the video. Okay, first things first, I think I separated them by books I got from Ollie's and then books I got from Second and Charles. So we're going to start with books I got from Ollie's, and I picked these up today. The first book that I got, and some of the stickers I had time to take off, some of them I didn't, so ignore the stickers. The first book that I picked up was Full Measures by Rebecca Yarros. This is the first book in a series, and I believe the book has 5 books in it. This is called the Flight and Glory series. I was so excited. I was actually able to pick up 4 out of the 5 books of the series. The only one that I didn't find there today was the most recent book in the series, which is called The Reality of Everything. But I got the other 4 and they were only $3.99. It still has the Walmart sticker on it saying $12.74, so you can't beat it. Rebecca Yarros, if you're not familiar, I feel like I talk about her in every single video, but she wrote Fourth Wing. Everyone knows Fourth Wing, but this is one of her contemporary romance series. So I'll just show you guys Full Measures. That's book number 1. Book number 2 in this series is Eyes Turned Skyward. The third book in this series is Beyond What Is Given. And then the fourth book in this series is Hallowed Ground. I have no idea what this is about other than I know there's some type of a military tie-in. Most of her romances have a military component just because her husband was in the military. She likes to write that into some of her storylines. But I'm just going to read the back, the little synopsis, so we can see what it's about together because that's all I really know. Number 1 New York Times best-selling author and TikTok sensation Rebecca Yarros' unforgettable novel about loss, love, and learning to embrace the uncertainty of life. After 20 years as an Army brat, Ember Howard knew that soldiers at the door meant her dad was never coming home. What she didn't know was how she would find the strength to single-handedly care for her crumbling family when everything starts to fall apart. Then Josh Walker enters her life. Hockey star. What? Okay, I was not expecting it to be a hockey romance. Hockey star, her new next door neighbor, and not to mention that he saves her over and over again. He has a way of erasing the pain with a single look, a single touch. As much as she wants to turn off her feelings and endure the heartache on her own, she can't deny their attraction until Josh's secret shatters both of their worlds. I'm interested if each book follows this couple, Ember and Josh, or if they're like following a different couple in each book. So I'm going to just peek at the second one. Yeah, Josh and Ember. It looks like in the third book, it switches over to a different couple, but at least the first two are about Josh and Ember. So I'm more excited than I thought it was going to be. I most recently read The Things We Leave Unfinished by her, and it fell a little bit flat for me. If you love it, I'm sorry. And if you like historical fiction, especially related to World War II, Air Force, um, dual timelines, then it really might be for you. But I wouldn't normally go for a book like that, but I am on a mission to read everything that Rebecca Yarros has written. I started with that book. I was reading it for a book club, and like I said, it just fell a little flat for me. I don't know that military romances are my thing, but now seeing that this series is also a hockey romance, it has me a lot more excited for it, and I might move it up and read it sooner than I originally thought that I would. So that's exciting. Um, oh, and by the way, if having like the little dots, the little black marker on your books bothers you, then don't go to Ollie's, because it's the same as getting your books from Book Outlet. They're going to have these little Sharpie marks that I'm pretty sure come from the publisher, that they're supposed to mark these books as not being able to be sold at full price. So, I mean, you're getting a book for $3.99. You can't really complain. And when you have it on the shelf, they look perfect. So if a little dot bothers you, don't go to Ollie's, don't order from Book Outlet. But for me, I really don't care, and getting a deal like that allows me to be able to buy more books. So anyways, the next book up that I got was really just a blind pick. I liked the cover. It's called The Clementine Complex by Bob Mortimer, best-selling author of And Away. I have heard of And Away, I think. But I just loved, and sorry for the sticker, guys. I just loved the little illustration with the bicycle and the squirrel on the seat. The little review on the front says funny, clever, and sweet. And I feel like I haven't read a lot of funny books lately. Also, I haven't read a lot of books with a male protagonist. I recently was trying to find prompts for my TBR jar, and one of the prompts I saw said, a book that has a male protagonist. And I started going through my books and realized that I don't have many with a male protagonist. So that is a goal of mine, is to read more books with a male main character, a male voice, a male protagonist. So this book does that. My name is Gary. I'm a 30-year-old legal assistant with a firm of lawyers in London. To describe me as anonymous would be unfair, but to notice me other than in passing would be a rarity. I did make a good connection with a girl, but that blew up in my face and smacked my ass with a fish slice. Gary Thorne goes for a pint with a work acquaintance named Brendan. When Brendan leaves early, Gary meets a girl in the pub. He doesn't catch her name, but he falls for her anyway. After she suddenly disappears without saying goodbye, all Gary has to remember her by is the book she was reading, The Clementine Complex. But when Brendan goes missing, Gary needs to track down the girl he now calls Clementine to get some answers. And so begins Gary's quest through the estates and pie shops of South London to finally bring some love and excitement into his unremarkable life. It looks like this is his debut novel, and yeah, all the reviews just say it's very, very funny. I also like that Gary is 30. I'm 30. I'll be 31 in March. But I feel like a lot of the books I've read lately, the main characters are like 19, 20, 21, 22. And I love seeing books with more characters closer to my age. So it gets another point in my eyes for that as well. But this is just different. This is different from something I would normally pick up. And that's the goal this year, challenging myself to read things a little different, a little outside of my comfort zone. And it's not very long. Yeah, 296 pages. So it's a short, quick read. So that is the Clementine Complex. I also got that for $3.99. The next book, how beautiful. Look at her. So this is called You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. This is a romance by, I'm not even going to try to say her name. And this is a New York Times notable book. This book actually won quite a few awards. It says named a best romance of the year by the New York Times, the Washington Post, and NPR. It was also nominated for an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Literary Work in the fiction category. Faye Adekola wants to learn how to be alive again. It's been 5 years since the accident that killed the love of her life, and she's almost a new person now, an artist with her own studio, sharing a brownstone apartment with her best friend Joy, who insists it's time for Faye to ease back into the dating scene. Faye isn't ready for anything serious, but a steamy encounter at a rooftop party cascades into a whirlwind summer she could never have imagined. A luxury trip to a tropical island, decadent meals in the glamorous home of a celebrity chef, and a major curator who wants to launch her art career. She's even started dating the perfect guy, but their new relationship might be sabotaged before it has a chance by the dangerous thrill Faye feels every time she locks eyes with the one person in the house who is most definitely off limits, his father. How far is Faye willing to go for a second chance at love? Another one of my goals this year is to read more books by Black authors. And so I made a point to pick up a few books that I noticed were written by Black authors, and this was one of them. But I just think, like, look, she's gorgeous. I love the bright colors on this cover. I've never heard of this book, but the cover pulled me in, and then it's obviously good if it's won so many awards. So if you've read this, let me know. I'm really interested to see if anyone's read this and what you guys thought, because I've never heard of this before. Next up, we have another book by a Black author. This is called Luster. And look how gorgeous. Now you can see where I peeled the sticker off. I need to get, I'm gonna steal some adhesive remover from work to get that sticky off. But this is a really pretty, like, holographic, iridescent looking cover. This is by Raven Leilani. That's a pretty last name. This is a New York Times book review, 100 Notable Books of 2020, and it was a New York Times bestseller as well. This book, I'm not going to read off all the awards, but it's also won quite a few awards. It was a favorite book of the year for Barack Obama, NPR, Oprah Magazine, Vanity Fair, you name it. Eddie, I think it's Eddie. Eddie is stumbling through her 20s, sharing a subpar apartment, clocking in and out of her admin job, making a series of inappropriate sexual choices. She is also haltingly giving heat and air to the art that simmers inside of her. And then she meets Eric, a man with a family in New Jersey, including a wife who has agreed to an open marriage with rules. Soon, Eddie finds herself invited into Eric's home, not by Eric, where she becomes a de facto role model to his adopted daughter. Eddie may be the only black woman young Akilah knows. Irresistibly, unruly, and strikingly beautiful, razor sharp and slyly comic, sexually charged and utterly absorbing, Raven Leilani's luster is a portrait of a young woman trying to make a sense of her life, her hunger, her anger, in a tumultuous era. It is also a haunting, aching depiction of how hard it is to believe in your own talent and of the unexpected influences that bring us into ourselves. And it looks like this is also a debut novel for Raven, so we love supporting new authors as well. It's really pretty. Okay, this looks steamy and spicy, which is right up my alley. Okay, the next book I'm very excited for. We're still on books I found at Ollie's. So if you have an Ollie's near you and you're interested in any of these reads, definitely check it out. A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Now, I've never read anything by Tia Williams, but I do have 7 Days in June on my TBR cart, and I wanted to pull a prompt that allowed me to choose it for March, and I did not. But I have heard nothing but incredible things about 7 Days in June. So when I saw that they had this in a hardcover for $4.99 at Ollie's, and the cover is gorgeous, I had to pick it up. I've never heard of this book before, but I just feel like when you have that sort of credibility as an author, like she does for 7 Days in June, I don't know, I feel like she might become an automatic buy. She is an automatic buy, just based off of what I've heard about her. So, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. The back is just a bunch of reviews. Emily Henry said, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is funny, sexy, and breathtakingly romantic. This is the kind of book you wish you could slip bodily into, live within its warm and magical world for as long as it would have you. Another rapturous knockout from Tia Williams. So I can read the jacket cover synopsis for you guys. One florist, one pianist, one love story, 100 years in the making. Ricky Wilde has many talents, but being a Wilde isn't one of them. As the impulsive, artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the opposite of her famous socialite sisters. Where they're long-stemmed roses, she's a dandelion, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed, born to float wherever the wind blows. In her bones, Ricky knows that somewhere a different, more exciting life awaits her. When a regal, non-agenarian Miss Della invites her to rent the bottom floor of her Harlem brownstone, Ricky jumps at the chance for a fresh beginning. She leaves behind her family wealth and chaotic romantic decisions to realize her dream of opening a flower shop in New York City. And just beneath the surface of her new neighborhood, the music, stories, and dazzling drama of the Harlem Renaissance still simmers. One evening in February, as the heady, curiously off-season scent of night-blooming jasmine fills the air, Ricky encounters a handsome, deeply mysterious stranger who knocks her world off balance in the most unexpected way. Set against the backdrop of contemporary Harlem and 1920s decadence, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is a modern fairy tale of two passionate artists drawn to the magic and romance of New York and whose lives are irreversibly linked. So that's a love song for Ricky Wilde. So excited for that. Next up is my first Ellen, how do you say her name? Ellen Hilderbrand. No, Ellen Hilderbrand. This is becoming a tipsy book haul. Ellen Hilderbrand, The 5-Star Weekend. Now, I saw a bunch of these on Book Outlet for $5.99 and I almost picked some of them up. I hate to say it, but I judge a book by its cover. Guilty. And to me, these covers are just so, like, it's giving mass market paperback. And I know I'm not the first person to feel that way. I've heard other people say they've been turned away from buying these books based off the cover. But when you look at her portfolio of everything she's written, they all look like this. And it's kind of become her brand, really. They all have this blue with like a beachy scene. She has a few books with a winter scene, but mostly this is like her brand. This is her deal. And I've heard not to judge it by its cover. I've heard that the writing is fantastic. I have decided to give it a try with the 5-Star Weekend. And this was a #1 New York Times bestseller as well. Yeah, like she has some of her other books and like just see, they all look the same. I wanted to see if this was one of her more recent publishings. Oh wow, she has a lot of books. A lot. So this one was published in 2023, so it's pretty recent. There she is. It actually says that she lives in Nantucket, and I think a lot of her books are set in Nantucket as well. Yeah, this book is set in Nantucket. It says, this is one of their reviews, a dreamy Nantucket house party given by a meticulous hostess goes off the rails. The people in Hilderbrand's books may screw up, but she always gets it right. It says, Hollis Shaw's life seems picture perfect. She's the creator of a popular food blog and is married to a dreamy heart surgeon. But after Hollis and her husband get into an argument one snowy morning, he leaves the airport and is killed in a car accident. The cracks in Hollis's perfect life, her strained marriage, and her complicated relationship with her daughter grow deeper. So when Hollis hears about something called a 5-Star Weekend, a woman summons together her best friends, one from each phase of her life, her teenage years, her 20s, her 30s, and midlife. She decides to host her own 5-Star Weekend. The gathering turns out not to be a joyful Hallmark movie. The husband of Hollis's childhood friend Tatum arranges for Hollis's first love, Jack Finnegan, to drop by, stirring up old feelings. Meanwhile, Tatum is forced to play nice with Druanne, Hollis's abusive and elitist best friend from UNC Chapel Hill. Druanne's career as a prominent sports agent is in jeopardy after her comments about a client's mental health issues are misconstrued online. Brooke, Hollis's friend from their 30s, has just discovered that her husband is having an inappropriate relationship with a woman at work again. And then there's Gigi, a stranger to everyone, including Hollis, who reaches out to Hollis on her blog. Gigi embodies an unusual grace and, as it happens, has many secrets. The 5-Star Weekend is a surprising and captivating story about friendship, love, and self-discovery set on Nantucket. It will be a weekend like no other. So I'm going to give it a try. I'll let you guys know what I think. But I have heard really great things about this author. This next book, we're still on Ollie's here. This is I Fell in Love with Hope by Lynn Colley. Now this cover is beautiful. And I have seen this cover before and I've heard of this book, but I couldn't remember where I'd heard of it or what it was about. This is one of those books that is likely to destroy you, I think, and I can't really decide if I'm ready to read it. I sometimes think I have a cold heart because I never cry in books. It takes a lot for me to cry in a book, and I kind of want to read this to see if it makes me cry because it's been a while. But I read the first paragraph and I think it might make me cry. I really do. So this is dark. I would say check your trigger warnings. This is a book that discusses loss, it discusses chronic disease, terminal disease, grief. So if those topics are a no for you, go ahead and click off this video or skip to the next book review. But if you're okay with that, I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. It says, a group of terminally ill patients, a vow to live the rest of their lives to the fullest, a love that transforms and transcends. Against the unforgiving landscape of a hospital, a group of terminally ill patients embraces the joys within their reach: friendship, freedom, rebellion. Each in their own way is broken, each in their own way is stronger for it. In the midst of pain and loss, they find community, even miracles, and together they are determined to reclaim from life what illness has taken from them. But a singular heartbreak has led one to swear off love forever. The risk of experiencing another tragedy feels too great, yet in this desolate place where it seems impossible for love to make an appearance, a door opens, and so do hearts. When I was on my way home from the store, I looked up this book on YouTube. I wanted to listen to a review of the book on my way home, and the first thing that came up on YouTube was a video by the author. Her name is Lou, but her pen name is Lenkali. And she has a video up on YouTube called, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's like Why I Wrote I Fell in Love with Hope. And this is a story that is deeply personal to her. If you're interested in reading this book, or if you've read this book already, I encourage you to go watch her YouTube video where she talks about why she wrote this book, because this was a very personal journey to her. I don't know the details, but she has experience with chronic illness and she has experience with the grief of losing somebody she loves to illness. And she says, even though this is a work of fiction, the themes in this book, the feelings in this book are very real. And she drew off of real experiences. And she wanted a book that could be relatable to people who are going through something like that. But she also said she wrote this for the family members, the friends of individuals who are going through a chronic or terminal illness, maybe requiring hospitalization, or for those people who have known somebody who have lost their lives to something like that. It was just a very touching video and it made me really excited to read this book, but I just don't know if I'm ready. So if you have read this, please leave a comment and let me know, like, how soul crushing is this? Like, how many tears will I cry? Is what I need to know. That is I Fell in Love with Hope by Lenkali. And we are now on our last book from Ollie's. So we have another book by a Black author. Her name is Jessica George. I believe this is her debut. Yeah. Yeah, the debut everyone is talking about. I drank that too fast. This is called Mame. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is because it tells you right here. The author was born in London to parents from Ghana. So it seems like she drew off of a lot of personal experiences in order to write this novel, even though this is fiction. It's fair to say that Maddie's life in London is far from rewarding. With a mother who spends most of her time in Ghana, yet still somehow manages to be overbearing, Maddie is the primary caretaker for her father, who suffers from advanced stage Parkinson's. At work, her boss is a nightmare, and Maddie is tired of always being the only Black person in every meeting. When her mom returns from her latest trip to Ghana, Maddie leaps at the chance to get out of the family home and finally start living. A self-acknowledged late bloomer, she's ready to experience some important first. She finds a flat share, says yes to after-work drinks, pushes far more recognition into her career, and throws herself into the bewildering world of internet dating. But it's not long before tragedy strikes, forcing Maddie to face the true nature of her unconventional family and the perils and rewards of putting her heart on the line. Smart, funny, and deeply affecting, Mame deals with the themes of our time with humor and poignancy. Familial duty and racism to female pleasure, the complexity of love, and the life-saving power of friendship. Most important, it explores what it feels like to be torn between two homes and two cultures. And it celebrates finally being able to find where you belong. So that is Mame. I really like this bright cover as well. This is very spring summery to me, so it seems like we're in a good season to read this one. So those were all of my books from Ollie's. Again, the paperbacks were $3.99, the hardcovers were $4.99. So now we will move on to the books from Second and Charles, and I believe all of them except one, I think, was used. One of my goals for 2025 as well, I have lots of goals, as you can tell if you're still here, is to read more classics. I'm just trying to branch out of the like fluffy romance and like romantasy genre and get into something a little different. I want to have more varied book collections and just read a variety of genres, because I do feel like there are other genres out there that I would enjoy. I've just never given them a try, and you don't know what you don't know. So I am challenging myself to read some classics this year. So I picked up two classics at Second and Charles. The first one is this beautiful copy of The Secret Garden. Zoom in so you can see the details. It's got the gold foiling. So The Secret Garden was written by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It's also got the gold pages, the gold foil pages, and it's got a little ribbon bookmark as well. This is nostalgic for me. My mom read this to me when I was a little girl, and is this like a movie or a show, or is the imagery in my mind just so vivid from being read this as a child? I have no idea. But I remember this from childhood, and I don't remember much, but I remember just the baseline plot, kind of what it's about. But the back is just as beautiful. And here's the sticker saying that it was used. So I got this for $11.95, which isn't the cheapest, but for a special edition, like leather bound, nice book like this. So the back just says, "And the secret garden bloomed and bloomed, and every morning revealed new miracles." Open it up and take a look inside. How cute. So it does have some pictures. Yeah, like this is so nostalgic. This is The Secret Garden. And then I also picked up from Second and Charles. This was my new book that I bought for $14.97. Persuasion by Jane Austen. It also has the gold foiling. It has like a linen feel cover, but it's definitely a collectible. And they had pretty much all of the classics in this style with just different covers, but I want to work on collecting all of them. But it was a little expensive, so I just got this one for today. The back, it just has the little flower. So I don't know anything about Persuasion other than it's really old and I'm pretty sure it's romance. But Jane Austen lived a long, long time ago. I think like 1800s. Really long time ago. So this is like classic. And then I think Secret Garden was more like early 1900s. So this might be a challenge. Like, I just feel like the language used in this book might be not what I'm used to. This is going to be a big challenge. I don't know if I'm ready for this yet, but if you've read Persuasion or The Secret Garden, let me know which one I should start with and why. I would really appreciate it. Next, we have a book that I know nothing about, but the cover is iconic and I just feel left out. Like everyone has either read it or is reading it, and I feel left out, so I bought it. But I got it for $8.95 for this hardcover, so that's not bad. We have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I've never read anything by R.F. Kuang, but I have a few of the books on my TBR. I have no idea what this is about. No idea. I don't know what genre it is. Is it just plain fiction? I'm not really sure. Couldn't tell you anything about it. But this is apparently the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I'm not sure what that means exactly. But this was originally a $30 book. And I got it for $8.95. Oh yeah, R.F. Kuang, she wrote Poppy War and Babel. Those are also on my TBR. Okay, so the dust jacket says, "White lies, dark humor, deadly consequences." Best-selling sensation Juniper's song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she is most certainly not Asian American in this chilling and hilariously cutting novel from the #1 New York Times best-selling author R.F. Kuang. Authors June Hayward and Athena Liu were supposed to be twin rising stars, but Athena is a literary darling. June Hayward is literally nobody. Who wants stories about basic white girls? June thinks. So when June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident, she acts on impulse. She steals Athena's just finished masterpiece, an experimental novel about the unsung contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I. So what if June edits Athena's novel and sends it to her agent as her own work? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Juniper's Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told, whoever the teller? That's what June claims, and the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. Tea. But June can't get away from Athena's shadow, and emerging evidence threatens to bring June's stolen success down around her. As June races to protect her secret, she discovers exactly how far she will go to keep what she thinks she deserves. With its totally immersive first-person voice, Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. R.F. Kuang's novel is timely, razor-sharp, and eminently readable. I love first person. I have a hard time if a book's in third person. I'm not one of those people who won't read a book if it's in third, but I find it a lot easier to get through books in first. That's Yellowface. I don't really know what to say because I don't know anything about it. It sounds amazing now that I've read the synopsis. I'm understanding the title more now after reading that. Yellowface really is that bitch. I'm really excited about this. Why do I say that after every book? I'm excited about all of them. I'm going to kind of talk about the next two together. We have two books by Emily Henry, Book Lovers and The People We Meet on Vacation. I've read Funny Story by Emily Henry and I've read Beach Read, and they were both 5-star reads for me. So I'm on a mission to read everything she has written. So I picked up these two. Book Lovers is an enemies to lover, it looks like, and then The People We Meet on Vacation, it's not the people, it's just People We Meet on Vacation, it looks like is best friends to lovers, kind of second chance romance-ish. I'm not going to read the back because this video is getting very, very long. Emily Henry, she speaks for herself. I might at least save this one for the summer because it's giving summer, but I see myself reading this in the next month or two. Okay, hang in there. We got 4 more left. Just 4 more. And I just realized I left one book off the stack because I just started it, but I picked up a couple books by Elle Kennedy. I am currently reading the Off-Campus series from her. I just finished The Deal and I'm eating it up. So I want to check out more of her works. I picked up Good Girl Complex, and then I also picked up Girl Abroad, which I started reading earlier today, and so far it's great. But Good Girl Complex looks like another beach read, summer read. I'll quickly read the back. It says, she does everything right, so what could go wrong? Mackenzie Mac Cabot is a people pleaser. It's exhausting, really, always following the rules. Mac has dreams of her own, but to please her parents, she moves to the beachside town of Avalon Bay to get her college degree. 20-year-old Mac has had plenty of practice suppressing her wilder impulses, but when she meets local bad boy Cooper Hartley, that ability is suddenly tested. Cooper is rough around the edges, raw, candid, a threat to her ordered existence. Their friendship soon becomes the realest thing in her life. Despite his disdain for the trust fund kids he sees coming and going from this town, Cooper soon realizes Mac isn't just another rich clone and falls for her hard. But as Mac finally starts feeling accepted by Cooper and his friends, the secret he's been keeping from her threatens the only place she's ever felt at home. I mean, real talk, the synopsis is not pulling me in. But neither did The Deal, and I think about that book every day. So I think with Elle, I just want to go in and see what happens. I'm not going to put too much thought into the synopsis or the cover or anything like that. I haven't heard a lot about this one, but we'll just have to see. Next up, I think I'm probably the only person on Booktube who has not read this. We have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the follow-up in the, what is this series called? Maple Hills. Maple Hill series. The first book is Icebreaker. The second book is Wildfire, and the third is Daydream, and those are the only ones that are out currently. Icebreaker is a hockey romance. I have not read it yet, but I found this for a few dollars at Second and Charles. I know I'm gonna read Icebreaker soon, so I just went ahead and picked this up. I'm not gonna read the back just because it is the second book in the series, so I don't want to give away any spoilers. Second to last book is a dark romance. We have Her Soul to Take from the Souls trilogy. This is book 1. I don't really know much about this series other than I saw this a lot on Book Talk. It definitely looks dark. Here is the back. It says, a college student has unleashed an irresistible darkness, a soul-hungry demon who might be her only chance at survival, in the dark romance series by TikTok sensation Harley LaRue. So this is between Leon and Ray. Leon says, my reputation among magicians is unblemished. Killer, they call me. Killing is what I'm best at. One wrong move and you're dead. Except her, the one I was supposed to take, the one I should have killed. The cult that once controlled me wants her, but I'm not about to lose my new toy to them. And then Ray, I've always believed in the supernatural. Hunting for ghosts is my passion, but summoning a demon was never part of the plan. Monsters are roaming the woods, and something ancient, something evil, is waking up and calling my name. I don't know who I can trust or how deep this darkness goes. All I know is my one shot at survival is the demon stalking me, and he doesn't just want my body. He wants my soul. I haven't read a lot of dark romance. I read like Hunting Adeline. That might be it. I'm new to this genre, so if you like dark romance, recommend me some books, but I think I might get into this series. It's kind of long. It's like almost 500 pages, so it's pretty thick. And this is book 1. It looks like it's a trilogy, so there's three books. So that is Her Soul to Take, and then we just have one left. Last but certainly not least, we have a Megan Quinn novel, A Not So Meet Cute. Now, this perplexed me for the longest time. I didn't understand what a meet cute is. Like, that phrase does not make sense to me. But I have heard so many amazing things about this series. How many books are in this? Is it 3? Let's see. Yeah, so this is the Kane Brothers series. So I think there's at least 3, maybe just 3. It's this one, and then there's So Not Meant to Be, and then there's A Long Time Coming. I've just heard great things about these brothers, basically. That's all I know, that this is really good. The back says, how did you two meet? It's the quintessential question asked to every couple, and the answer is usually some bubbly, lovey-dovey tale of being struck in the bum by Cupid's arrow. But Lottie Gardner's meet cute was a little different. So I guess that's a meet cute. It's like you met in a really cute way. Like, to me, the grammar on that is just problematic. Where did this originate? Who started this? A meet cute. Anyways, She was trolling a wealthy neighborhood in Beverly Hills, searching for someone to take her as her bride, to make the arch nemesis who just fired her jealous. And billionaire Huxley Kane was conveniently stomping around the block like some sort of gorgeous ogre, mumbling about a business deal gone wrong. That's when they bumped into each other. But the next thing Lottie knows, she's scarfing down chips and guac, listening to Huxley lay out his problems. And then he tells her he lied to a crucial client and he needs a huge favor, a fake fiance. It's fake dating. I like that trope. He's talking living in his mansion together, going on intimate double dates, and pretending they're head over heels in love and engaged. It's ridiculous, but people do ridiculous things when they're desperate. And Lottie and Huxley both reek of desperation, so she strikes up the deal. Except her one mistake might be accidentally falling for the incomparable, insufferable Huxley Kane. I like her writing style, even just from the little synopsis. Ooh, it's got pictures. Are those the Kane brothers? Okay, you guys, well, those are the 18 books in the book haul. If you are still watching to this point, you are a real one. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you enjoyed it, like this video, leave a comment down below letting me know what book you are most looking forward to reading, or if you've already read any of these books, and you can leave a heart to let me know you watched until the end. Other than that, I just want to thank you guys for the continued support on the channel. If you have any video requests, things that you want to see from me in the future, please let me know. I hope this video could be relaxing for you. I think I want to film more videos like this, just easygoing, chatty. I'm still trying to find the direction I want this channel to go in. I've only been here I think we're right at a month now that I've been on Booktube. And just kind of circling in on the niche, the direction I want to take it has been a little bit difficult. But I want to thank you guys for the support again and for being here. And I will be doing a lot more book hauls in the future. I have a problem. So turn notifications on if you never want to miss an upload from me. And other than that, I hope you guys are doing really well. Life is hard out there. I had a hard day myself. So if you had a hard day, just know that I'm thinking of you. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.